This cliche 3 a.m. artistry shit kills me. You mean to tell me there's a certain hour as in something concocted, as in someone decided, as in time isn't real, that'll trigger my mental to release seemingly sudden tucked away thought? A reveal of secrets, rather? You mean to tell me there's a certain hour that allows a human to feel so at peace, or perhaps so isolated, that said human is able to delve into their submental and willingly bring their most harrowing hidden places into the general public's thinning view? Because I'm here, and it's 3, and let me tell you what I'm thinking. So I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. I'm the youngest of 6. Both of my parents came to New York from Puerto Rico. One of the things that I struggle with is that feeling of, disappointing the ancestors or disappointing the elders in my family, breaking the generational curses that come with being a Latin woman. There's a lot of pressure to establish a career that will allow financial stability as well as, happiness, right? That's the ideal for us all. Journaling has been the biggest contributor to all parts of my life. And I think that is because that allows you a relationship with writing that is much more personal than it is, let me write this to be read by somebody at some point in time. At some point, I just stopped fighting it. I had a blog at the time, and I had a friend who was curating events, and he asked me if I would read some pieces from there. But after that first performance, it was like the biggest, best high I've ever had in my life, and I think I've just been chasing that ever since. As much as I wanted to be yeah, I do it all. I am the woman that has the career and the passion. I mean, your girl wasn't sleeping, we're not eating right, we're exhausted, things get sacrificed, my work got sacrificed. And so I had to make a conscious choice at some point to leave that day job and figure it out on my own, which is a luxury that not everybody has. I've been blessed with an environment and a partner that has allowed me to have the support I needed. Let's talk about using your last breath to call out for your mama like George Floyd called out for his mama, like I called out for my mama when my father left the universe. And let's talk about the doctors who did everything they could to save my father from suffocating, and the officers who kept George Floyd suffocating. So let's talk about saving breath. Let's talk about universal loss. Let's talk about the breath it takes to cry out for your father while the world continues to lose individuals by the thousands. Let's talk about mourning without thousands or any human hugs. Let's talk about grief without touch. I write a lot more about my family than I ever have in my entire life. And that's because I lost my father in 2020 to COVID. Lost my father at the end of April. I wrote it in June. It was after George Floyd was murdered. Let's call it like it is. The concept of my father having to be on a ventilator, have lost his breath, and him having to be pumped with oxygen, and doctors trying to do that hand in hand with George Floyd being, his oxygen being taken from him, and what that means for the world. That piece for me was the first big piece I wrote about after he passed. You recognize now that how much weight that holds and the significance, the importance of giving your flowers to your family and to your upbringing. Because I had all of this release for some of my more negative emotions, I now feel much more capable to release in those more empowering, prideful stages of my life. If you have something like that in the way that I think that I've been able to have and to have for so many years, then you have already found your reason. And if you have a reason within your existence, then what can't you do? I run Mictastic NYC, which started in October of last year. It is an open mic and showcase series. There are ways to better yourself, but there is no such thing as bad poetry. It is literally defined as free expression. You see somebody do something and you say, I can't do that, because that's all you're seeing from them. But what you're not seeing is the poems they didn't finish. What you're not seeing is when they tripped off stage. What you're not seeing is when they performed at the New Rican Poets Cafe for the first time with their fly down, which, yes, happened to me. And what you're not seeing is all of those struggles, is the blanking out, is the forgetting, is the stumbling, is the, all of that is, you don't see that. And it's all such a part of the process. Things are always going to be an uphill battle in anything that you're passionate about. Don't quit. And also read. I think writers need to read, whether that's their friends' work or the classics, but do yourself a favor and read. We are all better for it. And that is that.